Glam Girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I am a beauty enthusiast and consultant who loves to talk about everything dealing with beauty and makeup, and today I am so excited to be sharing with you all a full face of FLORASIS makeup. They reached out to me and asked if they could partner with me and send me some things, and I was completely here for it. So I will be showing you how I created this look, sharing with you my thoughts, doing some demonstrations and all of that. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. And let's get right into this video. So first, I just want to say thank you so much to the brand for partnering with me, sending me these products, and sponsoring this video. I'm just truly honored to be able to do this with and for them. And I can't wait to share with you my thoughts on this most beautiful makeup. Like, this is probably the most beautiful makeup that is out there. And also, I know some of you all have already reached out to me and said, you know, I'm really interested to see how this works on people of color. So you guys know I'll be sharing with you my honest opinions and how these products work for me and who I think these products will work best for. So getting into it, I start off with their lip mask. So this is the Moisturizing Ginseng Lip Mask. So here is the packaging of the lip mask, and it does come with the little spatulas here. This was very hydrating on my lips. I always sit down and put on a lip product first because usually my lips are chapped. So I was really happy to put this on. Very hydrating on the lips. It felt very moisturizing as well. It was definitely a little thicker, which I do like in any type of lip product. I am not the person who likes a thinner consistency, like almost a thin lip oil. I do want to feel the product on my lips. And I also like that it had a nice little shine afterwards. Like, it didn't look like, you know, I put on like a lip balm, but there's like no shine or gloss there. Like, I liked the shine that was on my lips. So really enjoyed that as a first step. And then I got into the eyes because, oh, these eyeshadow palettes, let me just show it to you. Here's the outer packaging. I was about to open it up and then I'm like, you have to see the outer packaging. So here's the outer packaging. This is what it looks like on the back. And then you open it up like so. And here are all of the eyeshadows. This is more like a face palette because you've got some shades here that could be used as blushes, and then you have these shades here that could go for eyeshadows or blushes. So I wanted to use both because I was like, I can't choose. I can't choose. So first I went into this palette here, went into this shade here, and let's also look at the design. Like, they just put in so much time and effort and thought into creating these palettes. Stunning. And also what I like is, for the most part, the design on the shadows and the powders, it stays for the most part. So I was very happy about that. So first, getting into this shade, I went here, wanted to use that in the transition area, and I was quite surprised that I actually saw pigmentation on my skin. I thought this was just gonna be like basically my skin tone, but I definitely saw a hue of color, so I was really happy about that. Then I went in with this shade right here, and this shade really didn't show too much on my skin. It almost matches this shade right here. It's just a bit warmer, so I didn't see too much of a difference there, but I was like, okay, that's totally fine. So then I went into this deeper shade, and I was very happy with the pigmentation that I got from this deeper shade. It does build up, and so that's what I did. I just built up the color. It blended really nicely, and it moved really nicely. So these matte shades that you see here, there's a couple of them here, and then also right here where the blushes are, it reminds me of Natasha Denona's Creamy Matte Formula, but much easier to work with because it feels like a cream, but it is going to be matte on the eye and matte in its texture. And it's not going to, it doesn't feel powdery at all. So just doing like some quick swatches of the two blush shades, you see what they look like on my finger, and then swatching them on my hand, you can tell that they are more matte-like in their texture, but they've got a really nice creamy feel to them. So like, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, Natasha Denona Creamy Matte Formula, but creamier and easier to blend and easier to move. So I was really, really happy about that. I was like, okay, like, this is going really well. So after I went in with this shade, blended it toward the outer area of the eye and into the crease, I went into this palette right here, and I went into, oh, the shade right here. This shade right here. The shimmers are very impactful. So there's a couple of different textures of shimmers. So this shade right here, this bronze shade, is going to be more like a traditional shimmer. I didn't experience really any fallout with it. It glided and like packed on the eyelid really nicely. And if you go in with your finger, of course, you're gonna get more impact of those shimmers. But then the shades like here and this shade right here, they are going to be more of your metallics. They do have more texture. And so with both of with the more metallic shades, definitely pack the product on so you have less fallout. With any of these shades, I really didn't have a ton of fallout with the shimmers and also the more metallic shades. I was really happy about that, but I did want to point that out just so that you knew. So went in with this bronze shade, and then I went back into this palette and I went in with this beautiful champagne shade right here. And that's what I have in the inner portion of the eye. Because I wanted something nice and neutral on the top lid, and I wanted to go a little bit more dramatic on the lower lash line. Because I had to use these turquoise and aqua shades. So I went into this palette, picked up this like emerald green shade, and this is one of the shades that I said was more metallic in its texture, and just kept it close to the lower lash line, kind of drug it out like a little faux wing. And like I said, didn't have a ton of fallout, but I definitely just concentrated the shades, stamped it onto the lower lash line. Very pigmented and looks beautiful. And then I went back in with this palette here and went in with this shade right here for the inner corner of the lower lash line. And this shade is going to be more like a shimmer topper. It took a few times for me to build it up to the pigmentation that I wanted it to be. And I'm honestly very confident that if I would have wet my brush, I could have gotten more intensity. But I just wanted to show you what the shadows look like if you just use them in and of their own without adding anything to them. So after about, I would say 3 applications, I was able to get the color intensity that I wanted from this shade. And I'm really happy with this eye look. I think it looks beautiful. I like the pop of color on the lower lash line. And guys, I was really shocked with how well these shades worked. I would say for me, the stars of the show are gonna be the matte shades. I mean, cause I actually did another eye look and I used this shade here. So I used almost every shade in this palette today except for this shade, and this shade. And like I said, I used this palette before, so I was able to, you know, explore with the other shades. The matte, I'm telling you, like, think of Natasha Denona Creamy Matte, but really blendable and easy to work with. Beautiful. And then in this palette, I used these 2 shades. I used this shade in another eye look, and this has more of that similar texture to this shade here. I also have used this shade as well in another eye look. So I didn't get to use these shades and this beautiful red shade in the middle, but trust and believe, you will be seeing me using these palettes in future videos. But I highly recommend both. Like I said, for me, the mattes were the star of the show, and I am a shimmer girl, a metallic girl, like give me all the shine. But I was just so impressed by how easy they were to build up to the intensity that I wanted and how blendable they were. Like, I can't get over it. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm still happy that even after using them, like, the embellishment on the shades did not wear away so fast. I mean, because it's just beautiful. Okay, so then we went into some brow products. They sent over 2 brow products or 2 shades of brow products. And the shade that works for me is MF05. So what's neat is that you get a brow pencil and then they automatically give you a refill. I feel like every brand needs to do that, because I am definitely the person that's like, if I'm going out of town, I'm the person that's like, wait, how much of my brow product do I have left? Because there is nothing worse than getting away from home and you run out of your brow pencil. So this one, I like the texture of the pencil. It glided on really nicely, and I like pencils that are not too emollient, but they're not too stiff. So this is what the shade looks like on the back of my hand. This one is like a very great texture. Not too stiff, not too emollient, and it doesn't like glide all across my face to where I'm losing, or to where I feel like I'm losing control of the pencil. Just to let you know, I did put some brow gel on my brows before I used the pencil. So if it seems like like I'm having a time, like it's not the pencil at all, it's me and the brow product that I used. I used the brow product earlier and I still had some left in my brow. So it made, I could tell that it wasn't the pencil, it was the brow gel. So excuse the brow gel. But I really do like this pencil and it's really, really pretty. I love the packaging of it. And what's cool, something that other brands I think should do, it actually tells you, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it says pencil right here and then brush right here. Because I most definitely will be the one that's like, oh shoot, that's the brush in. And it's, I mean, that's literally, like, it doesn't take too long at all to figure out which side is the right side, but it's also cool to just look and go pencil, brush. There you go. So I like that touch. I love the touch of detail. The other shade of brow pencil that they sent me was MF01, and I'll just swatch it really quickly so you can see the difference between the two. Because if you're interested in the brow pencil, then it might help you figure out which one might be better for you. So here's MF01. This one is looking more gray, whereas MF05 is more of a cooler tone brown. So this first one right here is MF01, and then this second one here is MF05, which is the one that I'm wearing in my brows. And I like for my brows to be cooler, so I was really happy that it was a cooler tone brow pencil that I could use. So then getting into this face palette. So this is called their Flowery Makeup Relief Palette. So here's the outer packaging of it. It's also kind of raised, like right along here. I'm hoping you all can see it. This is the inside. This palette, it is just stunning. Now, when I saw it, I was just like, all right, I know the highlighter, the blush will work. And I was like, the face powder and the bronzer contour, well, it's a contour. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. But it did. So I started with the contour shade here. It's very cool tone, but it's a cool tone I can work with. So this is what it looks like on my finger. And then I'm gonna swatch it on the back of my hand. And so this is what it looks like. Now, I do have a tan, so I feel like this would be a contour that would work better for me in the winter months. If you are any hair deeper than me, this is not going to show up on your complexion. So I would definitely say that this is going to be a face palette that will be geared toward lighter complexions. But it does work if you are of a similar complexion to me. The blush shade works beautifully. I wore it in this video and in another video, and I really like the blush shade. It's a little cooler as well, but not too cool toned. And then the highlighter is so pretty. So let me swatch the highlighter and the blush shade for you. So here is the blush shade, and then here is the highlighter shade. Such really beautiful shades. And once again, this one is definitely geared toward a lighter complexion. So I would really like to see the brand come out with some deeper palettes that will really work for deeper complexions. I think they could go at least they could create another 2, maybe even 3 palettes like this, so that more complexions could definitely use it. But I think this one is beautiful. And then the face powder, this light powder here, I didn't use it because I knew that this was just gonna be too light for my liking. I'll put this right here. And you know, I don't believe in using products that are not going to work for you. So I didn't use this on me because I knew it wasn't gonna work. But if you are of a lighter complexion, this is what that powder looks like blended out. It's a very soft powder, so you could definitely use this to brighten the under eye area if needed, or depending on your complexion, it could be an all over setting powder for you. But it's a very beautiful, silky, soft powder. It has the same texture. These two right here, they have the same texture as the eyeshadow, that really beautiful creamy matte formula that blends effortlessly, and the same as the blush. So all 3 of these have that same kind of creamy matte formulation. And then of course the shimmer is a really beautiful fine shimmer. I'm looking at it up close. There's not a lot of texture in that shimmer shade, and it blends out really nicely, which I like. Okay, so I was really happy with this. This is definitely a palette that I will use again, especially for days when I want more simple, like subtle makeup, since, you know, these shades here are not going to give me a ton of depth. They will work. This would be a palette that I would use for like simpler makeup days, but very cute and compact, and it's just stunning. So please make some deeper shades. I'd love it in a deeper shade. Then we get into their gorgeous Peach Blossom Silk Powder. So first off, look at this packaging. Can you see the iridescence? Oh, this one is so pretty. And then we open it up. There's a nice size mirror here. I have the sticker still on it. This beautiful sponge. And then here is the powder on the inside. So I want to use this with the sponge that it comes with, because why not? So I'm gonna take, I have not used this yet, so we're gonna use it together on camera. So I'm gonna take some like so that's what I have here, and let's add it right along here. Okay, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. I was like, please don't show up white. Oh, this is pretty. Do you see how blurred this looks? Oh, that's pretty. I had not put on any powder at all, so I wanted to do this with you all. This is very pretty, very pretty. So this could most definitely be a touch-up powder as well as a setting powder. I'll definitely report back as to how long it prolongs my makeup, because I have not worn this powder yet. So I'm not able to give you, you know, feedback as to how long it wears, but wow, this is pretty. Okay. And I will say, my mom was in town last week, and I was opening this up and she's like, oh, this is pretty. And I did put it on the back of her hand and it blended into her skin. So I do feel like this could be a powder that really like is quite translucent, that pretty much anybody could wear, because it's not looking like it's giving me any type of like white cast. We just dust it in so it blends. What do you guys think? Wow. I was not expecting that. Oh, this is pretty. It's so blurring and diffusing. This is pretty. This is pretty. Well, okay. Like I said, I was not expecting that. I was like, this is either gonna go pretty okay or this is gonna go really bad. And this went really good. Alrighty. Now to the last couple of products. They sent over one of their liquid lipsticks. This is the shade called Sunset Glow. I did wear this in my video yesterday. Now this liquid lipstick I have worn a few times and I love it. It's so comfortable. Like I'm talking, I don't feel it on my lips. My lips do not feel dry at all. And granted, I did put the lip mask on today, but I've also worn this before where I had nothing on my lips. They do not feel dry, you know, dehydrated, and it lasts pretty nicely throughout the day, like very nicely. Even when I eat, you know, I'll have some wear off like right in the center of my lips, but I still have pretty much the lipstick on my lips even after I've eaten. So really enjoy this formulation and how pigmented it is. It's literally like one swipe and you've got full-on pigment in that portion of your lips. So I love this. This is beautiful. Like I said, I have used that a few times. And then lastly, look at this lipstick. The packaging is so beautiful and it comes with the chain. I mean, I just love it. So you push right here and out pops the lipstick. And then now I have not worn this yet because I can't bring myself to mess up the embellishment. I really can't. So here is the lipstick. I'm gonna get it nice and close so you can see, hopefully, the embellishment. Oh, look at that. I don't want to ruin it. I'm gonna swatch it for you all because, you know, I know you're interested in this one. This is in shade M9213, and I will have everything linked down below so that if you'd like to check it out, you can do so. So here is the lipstick swatch. This is my type of shade. I mean, just a beautiful pinky nude, but this is kind of a cooler toned pinky nude. It's not too warm, but it's also not too cool. It's just more neutral. I would say more neutral to cool with a touch of mauve. This is gonna be perfection for these upcoming cooler months. I'm already ready for the cooler months. This, stunning, and it feels really smooth and satin-like on the skin. So this is more of a traditional lipstick, just based on like how it feels and how it looks on my arm. I can tell it's more of your satin formula. But this whole experience with this brand has been great. Like, I waited till today to use the majority of these products. The only products I had used before, like I said, was the liquid lipstick, and I had used the blush in this palette in a previous video. And then today I was just playing around with the eyeshadows just to get a feel of their textures. So that's why I said that I had used some of the shadows before. But all in all, I am loving this brand. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to try this brand. And in terms of who I think this brand will work for in terms of their shades, in terms of their eyeshadows, I mean, for the most part, any complexion can wear this or use this palette. Now, it's not gonna be a one and done palette if you have a deeper, richer complexion, but if you wanted to use this palette in addition to another palette for some of your deeper transition shades, you can do that. But these jewel tones right here definitely would show up. This red is going to be such the prettiest blush shade. I just wanna swatch it real quick. I know you've already seen swatches, but I just wanna swatch it. It looks quite intense looking at it in the pan, but putting it on the cheek or swiping it here, it's definitely not as pigmented, but like I've experienced so far, these seem to build up into a nice pigment. So if you wanted to build the intensity of it, you can. So I'm gonna add just a few swipes of this. And now you can see that it has built up a little bit more. So I think if you have a deeper complexion and you're interested in this brand, definitely go for the eyeshadows because they will work for you. The liquid lipsticks, they have tons of colors in the liquid lipsticks and also in the lipsticks. This eyeshadow palette here, I would also recommend for pretty much any complexion because there are some deeper tones in it, like this shade and like this shade, or the shade here. But just knowing that if you do have a deeper, richer complexion, you will have to reach outside of these palettes depending on the eye look that you are interested in creating. This powder, I would definitely recommend for any and everyone because it is quite translucent. And like I said, I really think this could work for pretty much any complexion. So I feel that this, like I've been seeing this brand more and more on social media. So I'm hoping that with me seeing them more and them picking up more popularity, that they will go ahead and expand their shade ranges, especially on their face palette. This is such, first of all, a beautiful face palette. It's probably one of my favorite products that I use today. I love the textures and the quality of the shades. But I also just love the packaging and the compactness of it. It's just beautiful. So I would most definitely hope that they will come out with deeper shades in this palette because I think if they did, like this and the formulation, stunning. Stunning. So I am looking forward to trying more from this brand. There's like, I definitely want more of these lipsticks, the liquid lipsticks. Like there's nothing I tried today that I was just kind of like meh on. Everything was just beautiful quality. It was such a great experience using these products. And thank you once again to FLORASIS for allowing me to try your products. If there are any questions that I did not answer for you in this video, leave it down in the comment section because I would love to go ahead and answer those questions for you. And guys, that's it. Let me know your thoughts on this makeup look. If you do or do not like the products, have you tried the brand? I'd love to hear all of that in the comment section below. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.